Why do we hate lady gays? Hello bookaboos, welcome back to the worst booktube channel ever created. I know that ever since I moved to China and lived here, I haven't been making many videos, nor have I been reading. I have been active on book Twitter, as you probably know, but I haven't been making videos as much. So I'm gonna try to jump back into that and we'll see how that goes. But I want to start off by making a video that could be a little bit sensitive. I have re-recorded this video on multiple occasions because I want to make sure that what I am saying is not construed as something hateful or just something that I am doing to start a fight. But what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about the fetishization and the objectification of male-on-male romances in literature as well as the media. And I do need to start off with some disclaimers. Although I hate disclaimers, I feel like sometimes they need to be said because of the fact that if taken out of context, I might just seem like an asshole. So the disclaimers are, I am not making this video to talk about any one said person. This is an issue that I have noticed in our booktube community that I want to open a line of conversation about. But to open that line of conversation, I can't keep on backpedaling every time I make a statement, if you know what I mean. I need to be clear and concise in what I'm saying without feeling like I have to justify everything every 5 seconds, okay? Second of all, if you indulge in male-on-male romances, that doesn't automatically make you a bad person, and it doesn't automatically mean that you are doing something wrong. What I am doing here today is I want to talk about how a lot of times these stories are fetishizing and objectifying male relationships with other males. Am I an authority on this subject? No, I didn't get a PhD in this or at all, and I am obviously not a gay man, so I don't have that perspective. However, I have talked to some gay men, and they have sympathetically said that they have some similar feelings about this subject, and that's why I want to go talk about it. So let's jump into it. I started this video off with a question. Why do we hate lady gays, or why do we hate lesbians? And the reason why I start off the video with this question is because I feel like it is interconnected with the fact of the fetishization and the romanticification of gay men relationships. Now, what do I mean by that? I feel like every time a new YA book comes out that has a male-on-male romance, we are very pumped for it. And by we, I mean a lot of heterosexual women, and a lot of them are white. And I don't mean to say this in laughing terms because it's not funny, but it is just so true. However, I don't see that excitement when it comes to female-on-female romances, especially not in YA. And I kept on thinking to myself, why is that? Why do we hype up the male-on-male romances, but we dare not to hype up on the lesbians? And I have some few ideas that I would like to share with you. The first thing that I think we need to talk about when we're talking about the sexualization and objectification of gay men, that's a very long sentence, is we need to talk about manga, particularly the boys' love and the yaoi of the genre. Now, this is a little bit of a history lesson. It has always been around. Yes, it has always been around, but it got really popular in the 90s, especially in America, and you can only guess who the main readers were. It was women. It was women. Women were the main readers of it. Before then, it was kind of taboo to like anything gay. In the 90s, it all of a sudden became cute to like things that were gay, as long as it was male on male, because we had at the time the idea of the gay best friend, you know, never a female, because Honestly, in media in the 90s, if you were a lesbian, most of the time it is just referred to as like, oh, that's hot. Two girls kissing? Oh, wow. And it's like more of like a sexual thing. Whereas the gay men could be the best friend, the fashionista. And in manga and anime, it was a little spicy. A lot spicy. Very spicy. But by introducing Westerners to this idea of the cute gay love story, it started to perpetuate into the fandoms. And this is the part that I kind of hate. Now I'm going to talk about some of the reasons why these girls might enjoy these gay men relationships before we jump into the fandom, because I'm not excited to talk about that. Ooh. Now, I have to admit that there was a point in my life where I read a lot of boys' love romances, and by a lot, I mean a lot. But it was at a time where I was convincing myself that I wasn't asexual and I needed to like guys, so I thought the most way to like guys is to watch two guys like guys, because that makes it even more manly, which makes no sense. And I did talk to a friend who mentioned that she read a lot of this manga because she was trying to convince herself that she wasn't like gay, you know, so she was like, more boys, more gay. But I think also with girls, the main reason why they are drawn to it is because very often is you have in these YA, you have like the very submissive like
bottom.
You have a very submissive bottom, and then you have like this controlling top, and it very much resembles a female and male relationship with like a dominant and like a submissive, you know, kind of thing. And so women are like, I can relate to that. I want a man like him. But it's so cute that they're in love together. But when they look at women, they have a hard time. However, girls are a lot more relational. They want to talk about things, and they're not as much going to have a submissive and a dominant in their stories, especially not in books and movies, because that's kind of just not how girls work with relationships at all. That's not to say that girl relationships can't have like someone who's a bit more dominant. That's not at all, but that's not the way normally girls relationships work. And so for them, for a lot of straight women, they can't imagine themselves in a female-female relationship, so they think it's gross. And that's not to say that you're a bad person if you can't imagine yourself in that, but it's not hard to just empathize with it. Because with a gay male relationship, so when I'm reading a story about like the protagonist, and whenever I was reading the plethora of boys' love, I never once imagined myself either as the submissive or the dominant. I could relate to the idea of wanting to be loved and wanting to be in a relationship. However, I never once saw myself as the people. And I think that's the thing, is a lot of readers, they tend to project themselves into the characters instead of just empathizing with them. And I'm not saying that heterosexuals are scared of lesbians. Not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it makes them uncomfortable. It's kind of like how a lot of men tend to be uncomfortable with gay men, especially if they are very, very, very straight men. They tend to be uncomfortable with gay men because they tend to be uncomfortable with a guy liking a guy, even notice they won't always consciously admit it. The same way in the fact that a lot of heterosexuals, and it's not that they hate gay women, it's that they're uncomfortable with the fact that another girl might like them. Even notice that's not what they think outwardly, they might subconsciously. It's kind of like when I was subconsciously reading it because I thought like, oh, if I see a bunch of guys falling in love, that maybe I will like guys more because it's so guy. You know? And I think part of it has to do with the fact that there are stereotypes of certain gays. And I think that a lot of time that most gays are portrayed as this like soft gay, you know, kind of thing. And a lot of girls are soft, and that is perfectly fine. But they see themselves in that character. And so if they can see themselves in that character, they're like, that's okay. And I like boys anyways, so I could just imagine myself as that. And it's okay to imagine yourself as the character, but also in the same way, it's still a bit objectifying. Even if I was doing it for my own selfish reason, I did slightly contribute to it. Although mine was a lot more like closeted, like I hid it, like no one knew. I was gonna forever keep it a secret. Here was my bed, it was underneath it, and I was not going to tell a soul until now. You know. Oh. Well, moving on. Next is the fan fiction, which I both love fan fiction, but I absolutely loathe it because there's times where the characters, they have no sexual relationship at all. They are just really good friends, and then someone writes a fan fiction where all of a sudden they're like these massive lovers, and I'm just like, maybe not. Maybe it is part of my asexuality that's like, can we just let people be friends? That kind of doesn't help that. However, I do think it is the majority of the fact that the mass majority of these people writing these gay fan fiction
are straight women.
Don't you think it's crazy that we don't have more gay people writing these stories? No, the majority of them are straight women, and I think that is so crazy because, like, I get it. People are cute and they make a cute couple together, but there are these people out there who are always making things gay, and that's not to say that I don't think there needs to be more representation in media and such. However, these girls will take two characters just like looking at each other once, and then all of a sudden they've been in love and they have this massive story. And that's not to say that there aren't some shows out there that definitely queer bait. One of the top ones that I can think on my head is obviously Sherlock, the British series that definitely has a lot of queer baiting because they make some openly jokes about them dating and all that. It's very queer baity, I'm not gonna lie. And then also Supernatural, it's very queer baiting between that dude and that dude. However, these people tend to not leave room for friendship. Two people can be very close and not be intimate? Is that weird? Whoa! Two people can be close and not be intimate. That's crazy. And I think it's because we often associate with friendship, close friendship, with females. Oh, are you sensing a theme? The theme that girls can be friends with girls, but they can't be gay, but guys can't be friends with guys because... okay, we gotta calm it down. So, because of the way and the nature of relationships, and the way that we have portrayed men often don't get to be friends just to be friends. They can't just be good friends.
They have to be in love. There has to be something deeper because otherwise, why would they spend all this time together? There has to be love.
There can be love, but it doesn't always have to be romantic. And I think this comes back to the idea of the objectification of these gay men, or sometimes not even gay men, just men. We have this idea that heterosexual men are very rough and tumble. And then you have your like soft gays, basically your cutesy boys, and they're allowed to have these like deep and intimate relationships with other boys. But if a girl has a deep and intimate relationship with another girl, there's only been really one case where I've seen people go out and ship, and that is Cara Danvers and, oh my gosh, what is her name? Oh my gosh, it's this girl. It's from the Superwoman show. Cara Danvers and, what is her name? It's gonna be right there. I'll remember it later when I can Google it, but I need to finish this video. But the only time I've ever seen that happen is with them. We don't see this in other TV shows where people just radically all of a sudden assume that they're gay. But the question is, why do we do this with gay men? Why do we perpetuate men falling in love with men, but we don't do the same with women? It's because it is taboo to have a good and open relationship with women. Gay women are often treated as a second choice. They're not treated as they're cute. They're not treated as if they are romantically plausible. They're not treated as if this is the best love story ever. It's treated as often very sexualized, or just don't talk about it. But gay men have benefited from the gay best friend syndrome. While they have been able to move on from just being a stereotype of the person you always go to, the person with the best fashion advice, they have slid into a new category, which is the cutification of them. And I see this a lot in YA. And it's not necessarily always bad. You have people like Adam Silvera, who is writing from his own experience and giving it a magical realism twist. However, there is still a very, 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 very large population of white women writing about gay men. And I know I saw a tweet the other day where it was like, this person's actually bi and this person like that. And it's also like, I get it that this person might be bi, but then why do they only perpetuate the gay love for boys and not for also women? To me, that doesn't make sense. For the majority of the time, you have these straight women writing these stories about gay men, and that's not to say that we don't need these stories, but it is always, always a straight white gay man falling in love with a biracial bi boy. That's the way it goes, especially when a straight white woman writes it. And to me, it seems like there's a problem that, first of all, we don't get hyped up about female-female relationships. We don't. When was the last time you saw someone getting so damn excited about a female-female relationship? I can't ever remember that. I honestly can't. And I just saw on book Twitter, I saw one book that is coming out that's going to be obviously an LGBT book, but I don't see anybody hyping that. But what is that? The red, royal, blue, whatever that story is, it's getting hyped up, and it's been hyped for months. And I'm not to say that can't be a good story. I haven't read it because I'm in China, and getting new books that are YA is almost impossible. However, I don't get to see the hype for female-female relationships. It's always male on male, and it's to the point where it just feels very gross and objectification, because it's it feels wrong. It really does. Because it always is oh, they're so cute. It feels like they're less like people, and you just like the idea of just two boys being in love together, because we no longer have the gay best friend. We moved on to the gay best love. You know? But girls don't get to ever be a part of that, because girls are gross. Girls loving girls is taboo. It is wrong. It is hideous. I don't think that people in the booktube community hate lesbians. We have a lot there. We've got a good majority of lesbians and bisexuals and everybody else. But where is the same love for the lesbians in our literature that we have for gay men? I can't find it. I really can't. There's nothing wrong with reading gay boy romances. I don't think that. And I don't think that we should stop. calling for diversity. We shouldn't. But I think we should take a step and look back as to why we refuse to write female and female relationships. Why is it okay for a straight woman to write a gay man story, but she can't write about a female story? I don't understand that. If the reason that you feel like you can't write a female relationship is because you don't feel comfortable writing a relationship of the same gender, then you shouldn't be writing gay man stories. If you know what I mean? Because it doesn't make any sense, because you obviously are not a gay man falling in love with a gay man. So what makes it different that you write a story about a female falling in love with a female? You're also not that either. I don't understand where the confliction comes in and why it is okay to write about a gay man falling in love with a gay man, but not a woman falling in love with a woman. That's what irks me. And the fact that it's just so cute. It is just so adorable. Yeah. But what's more than that? Give me more than just like, it is so cute that they're falling in love. Okay. All right. I think that as a community that is majority women, and of that majority women, the majority of those women are straight, it doesn't make sense why we can't also promote good female representation. Why does it always have to be the gay man falling in love with a gay man? Those aren't bad stories. But why do we always feel like those are the only stories that we are allowed to write beyond a straight white woman falling in love with a straight white man? Why do we feel like that? Why do we have this obsession with promoting every gay guy that we ever see? We just want to like squeeze them. It's just so cute that they can fall in love. They're humans. Of course they can fall in love. Like, I think the only person who can't fall in love is like legit me. But that's because I hate everybody. I don't know where this conversation ends. I hope that this is just the beginning of the conversation, because me getting angry at my camera is not enough. I think that we need to see some change. I think we need to see a change in way we react to certain books, to certain media, and check ourselves. Why are we reacting in this way to a gay man, but we're not reacting in a similar way to a gay woman? We need to look and see why is it that it is okay to write a gay man but not a gay woman. We need to look at it ourselves and see, like, why is it that it is okay to objectify these men and just see them as just like, oh, so cute, rather than like legit people. Well, in literature, legit people in literature. There's a lot more that could be said about this, and I just want to start the communication. I want to start the open dialogue, and feel free to comment down below how you are feeling about this, how you reacted to this. Was it a good reaction? Was it a bad reaction? Do you even notice that this might be an issue within our community? Tell me. That's all I've got booked, and I'll see you in the next video.